Welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Jakey. For Tuesday, May 31st, even though it's June 1st, it's Wednesday. I'm on a holiday weekend schedule. I counted Memorial Day as Sunday, so that meant Tuesday was Monday, and now Wednesday is Tuesday, and it's Tuesdays with Jakey. All right, I am in Las Vegas, Nevada, at my friends Kenny and Vaughn's house. I've been here for a week. It's felt nice to be in Las Vegas for a week, as odd as that sounds, because most people can't handle Las Vegas for more than a few days at a time. But when you do it chill, man, we just lay back and kind of pick your spots in Vegas. It's a good time. This is my 8th day here, actually, and my last full day here. I'm headed out tomorrow for some more riding and some more Jack Whiting, and that's what I was doing down here. I was riding, I was Jack Whiting, I was Bill Burr, I was golfing, I was Crossroads Cafe, and I was Geezer Butlering, and more stuff since the last time we talked. I rode, I don't know how far it was, 600 miles or something like that. 500 miles? 500 miles? Something like that. From Salt Lake City all the way to beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And I headed out of here last week on Tuesday. Yeah, I got down here. I took the 15 all the way, and after much deliberation, there were plenty of more scenic routes I could have taken, but also they would have just been longer, and I wanted to get it all done in one day. So I just took I-15 south out of Salt Lake City and took that all the way into Arizona and then into Mesquite, Nevada. And from there, from the I-15 in Mesquite, Nevada, I went a little further and I made a left on 167 towards Overton and in sort of the back way into Valley of Fire State Park, which talked about plenty on here before, and I'll talk about it again. I didn't stop at Valley of Fire this time, but if you find yourself in Las Vegas with an extra day to kill, Valley of Fire State Park is a wonderful place to go. It's just about an hour and 15 minutes off the strip, and it's one of the most beautiful parks I've ever seen. But I didn't get there this time. But I went right by the back entrance to it, and then I took the last hour and a half into Vegas. I took this route 167 through Lake Mead National Recreation Area, and it felt wonderful. After a whole long day of being on the interstate, it felt nice to get back onto a 2-lane highway that was curving and undulating through the hills of Lake Mead National Recreation Area, and finally got in at 8:30 p.m. Right as it was getting dark is when I finally pulled into Henderson, Nevada, which Henderson is the city next to Las Vegas. It's kind of just one big urban and suburban sprawl. But Henderson is south of Las Vegas, and it's the city that's closest to the Hoover Dam, if you don't count Boulder City. Is that even a city? That's more like a town. I don't even know what the difference is. But yeah, I got to Kenny and Vaughn's place Tuesday night, and then Wednesday I woke up and went for a nice long hike. Kenny and Vaughn's house here, it backs right up to Sloan National Recreation Area or something. Sloan Conservation Area? National Conservation Area, that's what it is. And yeah, their house backs up right up to that. So I could take my motorcycle just about a mile and maybe less than a mile to a little parking lot. And I found a nice 4.5-mile trail that I've hiked on 5 out of the 8 days that I've been here. And I had a good time hiking out there. There's all these signs saying, look out for rattlesnakes. And I was hoping I would see a rattlesnake, but I didn't see one. Not in my 20 plus miles of hiking did I see a single rattlesnake, but plenty of signs saying, look out for them. And I was really hoping to see one. I didn't want to get too close to one, obviously, but I was hoping I'd get close enough to one to maybe snap a picture or something. But no, it didn't happen. And then, let's see, I woke up Wednesday and did that. And Thursday I woke up, kind of did the same thing. And then Thursday night we had some visitors. Kenny's friends Sandra and Brad came in from Chicago with their little 7-year-old Graham, who was a hoot to hang out with. And man, we did plenty. We did lots of things. They, me. We all watched some hockey on Thursday night, and I woke up Friday, and I thought about going out Thursday night. I could have seen Rainbow Kitten Surprise. I thought about going to see Shin Lim. Still, this is my third time in Las Vegas since Shin Lim's show has been up and running, and I love Shin Lim's magic. He does amazing card magic. You might have seen him on America's Got Talent, or Penn and Teller's Fool Us, or on his social media channels. But Shin Lim does this amazing close-up magic and does crazy things with making cards disappear and reappear, and people write their name on them, and then he makes them appear out of his mouth with a big bunch of smoke coming out of his mouth. Pretty wild stuff. Though I've yet to see Shin Lim live because I'm not sure how a close-up magic show is going to translate. And I also don't feel the need to go out to shows the way I used to when I'm been in Vegas. I've been trying to chill as much as possible on this trip, on this visit, and just kind of like hang out. I've just wanted to be a human, comma being. You know what I'm saying? Just chilling. And so Thursday I didn't end up going out to a show. Watched more hockey. I'm losing track of who was playing on what nights, but Friday morning I got up and I drove out to, I don't know, Summerlin, I guess, and went golfing with my boy CW, Chris White, and we had a fucking great time golfing at Rhodes Ranch, and we were paired up with two single dudes. So it was me and Chris in one cart, and there was Alan, who was Alan was a former Texas Ranger, retired Texas Ranger that now drives a crane truck in his Texas Ranger retirement. And dude, what was that other guy's name? Joel, Bob? I don't know. Some other guy we were playing with was a Canadian dude who was here for some kind of conference, some sort of licensee conference. His company licenses Disney for betting up there in Toronto. Anyway, we had a good time playing with them. I thought it was going to be too hot to handle, too cold to hold. We'll call the Ghostbusters and we're in control. I thought it was going to be too hot to handle. And it's pretty hot out here right now. Most days it's been up over 100 degrees. The highest I've registered on my bike is 104. That's hot, to be rolling around. But our day of golf, it got up into the high 90s by the time we were done playing, but our golf cart had a roof on it, so it gave us lots of shade, so that was nice. I was playing bogey golf, pretty straight bogey golf. I had like 4 holes that were disasters, and almost every other hole I birdied. I don't think I made a par. Did I? I was trying to. I might have made 1 par. Definitely didn't make any birdies. Had some nice shots. That's all you can ask for at a day of golf, though, is like to have some nice shots. I had some really nice drives, had some really nice approach shots, had a couple putts that I made from longer than my body distance, which is 6 feet. Anytime you make a putt from outside of 6 feet, it makes you feel like a fucking professional golfer, We had a great time golfing out there, and then came home, took a shower, did some relaxing, and then I fucking headed down to the Strip to Resorts World Casino for the grand opening of Crossroads Kitchen. Crossroads is a very famous / popular vegan restaurant in Los Angeles that I frequented for many years. And oftentimes I would go to Crossroads with my good friend Toby Morse. And Toby, the singer from H2O, whose podcast I was on almost a year ago right now. I think a year ago this week, yeah. I was on Toby's podcast, and that's the first time I sort of really came out there and detailed my struggles with suicidal depression and anxiety, which, man, anxiety kind of crept up and got a hold of me last couple of days. I'll get to that. But yeah, on Thursday on my hike, I sent Toby a little message with a picture of me from my hike, and he was like, "Where are you?" And then I said, "Las Vegas." And then he called me immediately, and he was like, "My God, we're going to be in Las Vegas tomorrow. Oh, my God." And I was like, "Oh, my God, what are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm coming for me and Moon's anniversary. It was their wedding anniversary, their 26th wedding anniversary. And last year, for their 25th anniversary, I ended up flying to Phoenix, and I was the minister in the renewal of their vows for their 25th anniversary. So this year was 26, and we were together again. And man, that's one of those magic things about life when you run into people you weren't expecting to see. And I thought I was going to see Toby this week, meaning next week when I talked to him. Would have been this week. I thought I was going to go to LA, which I didn't. But part of the reason I didn't, I kind of talked about it on here last week from not really feeling like going to LA. But I really wanted to see two friends. I wanted to see my Maxie Poo, Brett Maxwell Dawson, and also wanted to see Toby. But then found out Toby was coming to Vegas. So I ended up going to Vegas and hanging with Toby because I was already in Vegas. Technically, I was in Henderson, which is a separate city from Vegas, and it's like 20 minutes to the Strip. But yeah, I met up with Toby and Moon and Max at the Crossroads grand opening at Resorts World. It was, oh man, it was a to-do. This grand opening was like, man, Vegas openings are something else. Like, it was like hipster central and like weird looking woman central. There were so many fucking babes there that were like 6 feet tall with fake tits and big plump fake mouth lip things. And what a gross look that is, you know? Like, it's a very fine line, ladies. Men, if you're gonna get plastic surgery done on your face, get your lips done. Obviously, tits are like cool, I guess. You get some fake tits, awesome, good for you. But I don't know what it is. Why do people make themselves look so funky with surgery? I don't know. But the place was full of funky looking plastic surgery disasters. And I hung out there for a bit. I met Geezer Butler, bass player from Black Sabbath, longtime vegan. When I say I met Geezer Butler, I like walked by him and just said, "Hey man, I really enjoy your work. I love you." And he was like, yep, and nodded. And okay, so did I meet Geezer Butler? I don't know. I didn't shake his hand. I didn't want to bother him. He was just kind of like chilling with his wife, or who I assumed to be his wife, his girlfriend, whatever, eating, snacking on some food. And Crossroads has opened. They have a full restaurant, and then they also have the CB Burger Bar, which is their Crossroads Burger, CB Burger, and that's their version of the Impossible Burger, which they made to be like a McDonald's cheeseburger, the way they do the finely diced onions and the pickles and ketchup and mustard. And they had a huge poster of the CB Burger, and the picture they used of the burger is Toby's hand holding the burger. Just a close-up on his hand in the burger. So, of course, we did nice little photo shoots of Toby holding a burger inside of the massive poster of him holding the burger. And his brother Todd Morse was there with his wife Kimberly. Todd lives in Henderson, Nevada as well. Todd was an original member of H2O, and for the last like 10 or 12 years has been playing in The Offspring. And that led to a funny interaction, because I saw Todd and we hugged each other, and I was like, "Hey man, when The Offspring played in Asbury Park a couple of weeks ago, you guys had a piercer come backstage and do some piercing of the band." And Todd looked at me like, "How do you know that?" And I was like, "I'm the one who provided the piercer." And he was like, "What?" And a couple of weeks ago, my boy Patty D, Cool Chief Rocka from Rocks Off, who helps oversee all my shit while I'm not in New York. Patty D, his friend was tour managing The Offspring, and Patty D reached out to me and was like, "Hey, The Offspring, they would like someone to come and do some piercing of the band backstage at their show at the Stone Pony, the outdoor Stone Pony summer stage. Do you know someone who could show up and pierce?" And so I hit up my boy Pete Peterson, who lives down in Asbury and is a tattoo artist and a piercer, and he was like, "Thanks, but no thanks. Thanks for thinking of me, but I'm not interested. I don't want to fucking bring all my gear over there for 1 or 2 piercings, unless I'm guaranteed it's going to be a lot of money." And I was like, "I can't guarantee it's going to be a lot of money." So I reached out to my friend Angela, who does my hair, knowing that she knew a lot of piercers. So she found someone very quickly. She was like, yeah, I know someone who'll go down there and do that. And she sent someone, and I said to Todd, I was like, what? Who in the band was getting pierced? What was that all about? Why did you guys specifically need a piercer to come to Asbury Park? And he was like, yo, Dexter, who's the singer of The Offspring, and also is a PhD in chemistry or molecular biology or something like that from USC. He said Dexter was flying back on his private plane. If you didn't know, Dexter Holland has a lot of money because he retained the rights to the Offspring's music when they blew up, and had his own label called Nitro, and sold like 7 million copies of that record, and just that big smash Offspring record. And anyway, the dude's fucking loaded, and he has a private plane. And so he's flying back to USC on a day off to give the commencement address to the USC class, and one of their classes, who knows which one. But apparently he had like a suit to wear and wanted to re-pierce his ears because wanted to look a little bit punk rock, and that's what Todd told me. And I was like, that's kind of one of the most uncool things you could have told me. Really? Like, he wanted to get his ears re-pierced so he would look punk rock, giving a commencement speech at USC that he took his private jet to? Like, where is the punk rock in all of that? I'm not sure, but I still think it was pretty funny. So yeah, the piercing happened, and then we hung out there. Let's see, who else was there? It was like famous person central over there. Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars, who they were also there. I said hi to Anderson .Paak very quickly and kind of had a head nod with Bruno. Just like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I know you, man. I gotta say, I used to love Bruno Mars. I haven't heard much Bruno Mars music lately. Heard a couple of the Silk Sonic songs that were really good, and then I left after about an hour. I was like, what am I even doing in a place like this? I did not want to be there. And Tony Kamal from No Doubt came by, and him and Toby are buds, and he's good friends with Todd, Toby's brother, and so I met him briefly and hung out, chatted with him for a little bit. And then I was just like, I'm going to get out of here. And I got out. And granted, I had been up since, like, I had set my alarm at 5:30 for a 7:48 golf tee time. So I had been up all day. And, yeah, I came home and woke up Saturday. And goodness gracious, what did we do Saturday? Oh, that's right. We woke up and we went, we went ice skating. Ice skating, yeah, with the whole family crew here. Me and Kenny went ice skating, and Sandra went to the Bellagio for a spa day. And so me and Kenny and Brad and the little 7-year-old Graham, we went to the Las Vegas Silver Knights practice facility. So the Golden Knights are the NHL team in Las Vegas, and then the Silver Knights are their minor league team. And the Silver Knights have a practice facility and a place where they play their games. They play their games at the Dollar Loan Center Arena, and then their practice facility is called the Lifeguard Arena. And Lifeguard is some sort of janitorial supply company, which I found to be a little interesting of a company to sponsor practice rink. But the practice rink had 2 ice rinks, and we got to rent skates and go skating for a couple of hours. And Kenny and I both got on the ice, and we both fell down pretty quickly, and then slowly kind of got our skates under us. And I got watching Graham, the 7-year-old, skate, and his dad Brad, who's been a hockey player for most of his adult life. These guys were like literally skating circles around us out there on the ice. And Kenny and I were just having fun. And, I was wondering when we were out there on the ice skating, and from all my years of roller skating as a kid and ice skating, why do people always skate counterclockwise when it's like an open skate at an ice rink or a roller rink? Like, why is it always counterclockwise and not clockwise? I brought that up to Kenny, and Kenny thought, like, maybe because most people are right-handed, so right's their dominant side, and that's the side you have to use to push off more when you're turning left, which is how you turn in a counterclockwise direction. Um, I guess that's as good a reason as any that I could think of or heard. So yeah, we skated counterclockwise, and then I realized there was only like 8 of us out there skating. There were 4 of us, and then uh, a, a group of 3 sort of teenagers who looked like they were just there having fun, and then a woman who was probably in her 50s doing like figure skating type of stuff. So then I was like, why do I even have to skate around in counterclockwise pattern? Then I just started skating all around the ice, just crisscrossing all over. And gotta say, I haven't ice skated much in my life, but it was cool to ice skate in like on an actual hockey rink, especially since I've been watching a lot of hockey lately, and like kind of really understand like how far the blue line is away from the goals, and how far the red line is from the blue line, and really sort of like got an appreciation for the size of a hockey rink and how quickly these pro skaters can cover that much distance while they're skating around. And then Saturday night, I took the Morses to see Bill Burr at the Cosmopolitan, the Chelsea room at the Cosmopolitan, which I managed to score free tickets because it's good to know people in a town like Vegas. Thank you, Chris White. He had me down for 2 tickets, and then when I found out Toby and Moon were in town and Max, I asked him for 2 more, and so the 4 of us ended up all going to see Bill Burr together. Toby was going to he was going to bring the family to see Limp Bizkit, but I rescued them from that fate because his wife and son were not excited about seeing Limp Bizkit. They were, however, excited about seeing Bill Burr, so we all went to see Bill Burr, and then Toby's got this connection with Liquid Death, and he's like a brand ambassador, I guess. I don't know exactly what you'd call it, but he hooks up lots of people with free Liquid Death in exchange for them posting on their social media and stuff. And Bill Burr, he sent Bill Burr a bunch of Liquid Death, and Bill Burr is now sponsored by Liquid Death. So Toby made a call, and we ended up getting 4 backstage passes in addition to the tickets I had already gotten. So we got to go backstage and meet Bill Burr after the show. And it was a pretty good show. It was a pretty good Bill Burr show. I think he filmed his special somewhat recently, so he's kind of thrown all those jokes away and is getting ready to work on a new hour. So he's testing out a lot of new material, which I can't imagine he's testing out a lot of new material in all these arenas that he's touring around in right now. But the Chelsea room was somewhat small for him, held like 2,500 people seated. And so he was definitely trying out a bunch of new material, and the shows had been postponed from March because he was filming a movie. So he had to move the shows forward to May, which meant a lot of people who had originally bought the tickets maybe hadn't gotten refunds or whatever. Because it was technically sold out, but it was only about a little more than half full. And there were a lot of the customers who were just like fucking drunk because, yeah, it was Saturday night in a casino, in Las Vegas on a holiday weekend. So he was getting heckled a fair bit. And not even heckled, people just yelling out things. Heckling I find to be more like when you're trying to diss the comedian. But yeah, people were like just fucking yelling things out at Bill Burr. And so he was having a good time yelling back at them. And then anyways, we got to go downstairs to the dressing room and meet him. And we hung out down there for like 10 minutes maybe. Bobby Cannavale was down in the dressing room. So it was Bill Burr, Bobby Cannavale, Bill's like security / tour manager guy, and who looked like Brad Garrett from Everybody Loves Raymond. And then the 2 openers. And then there was 2 other groups. 2 guys were down there and brought him a bunch of Cohiba cigars. And then there was a couple who had hooked Bill Burr up with seats to a Raiders game last year. And he chatted with us for a little while. Got to tell him that Toby, we all connected. We were all born in Massachusetts. Bill Burr grew up in Newton or something. I forget what town. Toby was born in Taunton, Massachusetts, and I was born in Lowell, Massachusetts. So we chatted about that for a little bit, and I wanted to get into it a little more with Bill Burr and talk to him more, but I also didn't want to monopolize the conversation, and also I got the sense very quickly that he was not. It was very much like he greeted us all as groups, the 4 of us, then the 2 and the 2, and then was like, all right, you guys want pictures? And as soon as we were done with pictures, he just kind of collapsed down into the couch next to Bobby Cannavale, and we all chatted for a little bit, and then it was quite obvious that it was like, okay, we gotta go. They don't want people hanging around in here. And then afterwards, Max actually said, like, it felt like we kind of got rushed out, huh? And I was like, yeah, and we did, because he doesn't know us from Adam, and like that's that dude's work night. Like that dude finished working on the stage doing an hour of stand-up, and then 5 minutes later all these people show up in his dressing room, and there was just definitely that vibe of like, as soon as I get these fucking 8 people out of my dressing room, then I'm really done with work. So we certainly did not overstay our welcome, but we got a nice picture which I put on my Instagram. I'll put on the Tuesdays with Jakey Instagram, and then we went out in search of some food, and it's hard to find vegan food on the Strip at 11 p.m. We ended up going back to the Resorts World and getting some pizza. Toby's wife and kid are not vegan, they're vegetarians, so we all had pizza. And Toby didn't get to eat dinner. I'm sorry, Toby. He did get like a little energy bar of some sort from the casino sundry shop. And then I let them be around midnight, and I ended up riding my motorcycle, all the way home. And then Sunday morning, boom, 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 boom. What happened Sunday morning? I don't remember. I went on another hike, and the homies got up, and they all went to the Hoover Dam, which Kenny and I went to the Hoover Dam too on Wednesday. Maybe it was Thursday. I don't know. One of those days we went for a ride to the Hoover Dam, which was pretty cool, at the Boulder City. I went to some antique shops and walked out onto the top of the Hoover Dam and the bridge that crosses in front of it. You get crazy views of the dam, and like, man, it's really freaky how big the Hoover Dam is. And if you're ever out in Vegas, and I could put together an itinerary for you. If you were going to come to Las Vegas and spend a week in Las Vegas and not want to go to the Strip at all, I could keep you entertained. So if you're the type of person, if you're going to be coming to Las Vegas and you want tips, hit me up. I've been here well over 100 times in my life. Wouldn't be surprised if it's closer to 200 at this point. And I look in the nooks and the crannies and underneath rocks to try to find out cool things that are going on. And I know a lot of cool things to do that don't involve casinos. Lots of great food spots. This time, I gotta say, I hit barely any of them. I've been eating mostly just food at the house here. I cooked a big curry meal on Wednesday night. And there's plenty of leftovers, and I cooked something that was, Kenny's got a specific diet that he sticks to, not exactly paleo, not exactly Whole30, but I cooked up an awesome vegan curry, and then I ate that leftovers for a while. I don't think I went to any nice restaurant except, and I'll get to that now, Sunday. So Sunday, oh my God, what a day Sunday turned out to be too. So it turned out, Moon texted me on Sunday morning. I came home Saturday night, and Sunday morning I slept in because I had been up really late, and I slept in till like 10 o'clock, and then I got up, and the homies were going out to the Hoover Dam, and then they were going to go to the Titanic exhibit and the Pinball Museum. And then, so I woke up and I was just kind of chilling, and I went on a hike, and then Toby's wife, Moon, was like, hey, my friend Shay is in town. She just decided to come to Vegas on a whim, and she's here all by herself, and you're here by yourself. Why don't I connect you guys? And I was like, yeah, why not? Any friend of Moon's is a friend of mine. So I'm texting with this woman, Shay, and she's like, what are you up to? I was like, oh, I'm on a hike. Do you want to get some lunch later? And she was like, yeah, what time? And I was like, how about 3 o'clock? Thinking we'd go to Lotus of Siam, because she was staying at the Virgin Hotel, formerly the Hard Rock Hotel. And the favorite Thai place in the whole world is just up the block from there. So I was like, hey, how about we meet for Thai food at 3? And she was like, yeah, word, that sounds awesome. And then I got back from the hike, and I took a shower, and I got out of the shower, and I saw a message from her, and she was like, hey, So this is a little weird, but I'm hanging out at the pool at the Virgin. Um, and I was wondering, maybe you would like to join me at the pool. But I gotta warn you, there's a rave going on. And she sent me a video, and it was one of those like DJ big pool parties. And I wrote back and I was like, as much as I appreciate that offer, that's very low down the list of things, ways I would like to spend my Sunday afternoon. And she was like, all right, haha, LOL, JK, whatever. Um, she's like, I didn't figure it's something you'd be into, but could we like maybe skip lunch and get dinner or something then? Because I'm going to stay here. I had to agree to spend a $500 minimum to get a daybed by the pool at this party because I just wanted somewhere to lay out in the sun. And it was the only way to get a guaranteed layout spot. And I was like, huh. And I was like, yeah, of course, whatever. Like, I don't know that I can do dinner because I'm going to see Jack White tonight. I don't have an extra ticket for you, though. I wish I did, if so. But if you buy a ticket, we can hang out together at Jack White show. And then she wrote back, hey, I just asked you one more time. You sure this isn't something you want to come to? Because, like, I have to spend $500. They're going to charge my credit card for $500 anyway. So you sure you don't want to come by and, like, eat food here at the pool? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, as little as I thought I would enjoy that type of thing, I've never been to one of these, like, fruity-duty Vegas pool parties. So I was like, why not? And I did it. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go over there. So I did. And I finished my shower and tucked my hair up under my helmet, my wet hair, and then I got on the bike and I rode over there, and it was 101 degrees on my ride over. And I got there and I cruised right into the pool party, and I found her little day bed thing. It was actually 2 day beds smushed together, and she was like, order whatever the fuck you want. And I was like, word, you don't have to ask me twice or 3 times, I was like, I'll help you get your $500 minimum. And she was a little tooted up on whatever it was she had been drinking. Not hammered, but she was feeling good, so to speak. And she had ordered like a 64-ounce pitcher of some sort of like tequila or vodka drink. She wasn't even sure what was in it. So I ordered a mocktail. I was like, just give me some kind of mocktail that's made with pineapple juice. And they were like, okay. So I got a mocktail and a club soda. And then she was like, order some food. And I was looking on the food. I was like, I don't know. And there was a $68 fruit platter. So I was like, give me the $68 fruit platter. And then we ordered some crudité. And, that was the saddest shit I'd ever seen. Like, I've hung at nice Vegas pools and ordered, a salad or a club sandwich. And they'll charge you like $32 for a club sandwich if you're at the pool at like the Encore or the Wynn. And like, whatever, it's just part of the deal of being in Vegas and being at a beautiful pool like that. Like, if you want to order some grub, it's going to cost you a fortune. But a $68 fruit platter, and I think the crudité was like $55. And the fruit platter was 4 triangle wedges of pineapple, 4 triangle wedges of watermelon, a bunch of red grapes, and by a bunch I mean like one bunch. Like you pick up the stem and there's a bunch of grapes, and some cantaloupe, and that was it. That was literally it for $68. And then the crudité was orange carrots, yellow carrots, what are those? Radishes, broccolini, and little cherry tomatoes that felt like they'd already been sitting out in the sun for like 4 hours. And then there was some like ranch dip, and then some green dip that looked like, I don't know if they thought it was guacamole. It didn't really feel like guacamole. And that was about enough of that. So I ended up hanging out there for like 3 hours and doing lots of swimming in the pool and laughing my little took us off about everybody who was like really like getting after it and dancing in the pool. It was real goofy. And then around 5:30, I was like, yo, I gotta go. I gotta go meet some friends for dinner. And she was like, cool, I'm gonna go take a shower and go find a nice dinner for myself. And, I'm glad I went and hung out with her. And I'm glad I met someone who's also cuckoo. Like, she had decided, she woke up that morning and got on, just basically, like, booked a flight and went to the airport. And, like, so she ended up landing in Vegas at like 10 a.m. and then went straight to the hotel and straight to the pool, basically. Went to the spa for a massage, she said, and then straight to the pool. And I was like, I can get down with a woman like that, you know? Someone who's just like, fuck it, I don't feel like being at home today. I'm just going to go to Vegas and sit by a pool all day. So, we ended up going our separate ways. I never saw her again. Might never see her again either. Or, who knows, maybe next time I'm in LA, I have another friend there. But after that, I got back on my bike and I went to downtown Las Vegas to Soul Belly Barbecue, where I met up with Chris and his friends. Forget his friends' names. Brian and Greg. And we all met at this barbecue spot where my old friend Diana Hank used to work, who was a New Yorker and then moved out to Vegas and ended up with a job at this place. And then she was like, fuck Vegas. And ended up moving to Austin, where she's working at another barbecue restaurant. But we went to this place, Soul Belly Barbecue, and I was like, yo, what's the can't miss meat? And she was like, definitely the brisket. And I was like, okay. And they had so many different meats. They had brisket, pulled pork, ribs, turkey breast, why do you have turkey breast? I don't understand. Hot link sausages, and another kind of, I feel like there was another kind of beef. Ribs. Okay, whatever else they had. But we went up to order, and the guy was like, just giving you a warning. And Diana told me, like, brisket was the shit to get. But we were going to try, like, a half pound of a bunch of different meats and then get one of every side, basically. Went up to order the food, and the dude was like, yo, it's Sunday of a fucking Memorial Day weekend, and we're all out of meat. The only thing we have is brisket and hot links. And I was like, all right, I guess we'll have 2 pounds of brisket and 4 hot links. And the dude was like, okay. And the brisket was pretty damn good, but it was no Monstrami brisket. It was no SpeakeasyMeats.com Monstrami brisket. And you know, Adam Bauer is a big proponent of not putting sauce on your meat. And you know, he was in Kansas City recently, and I saw him posting about a famous Kansas City barbecue spot. And they said, do you want sauce, barbecue sauce on your meat? He said, in his post, he said, he would typically never have sauce on his barbecue meat, because he said the real sign of barbecue, of great barbecue, is whether or not it can hold up without any sauce on it at all. And his does. I remember when I got my first shipment of Monstrami meats, I was like, hey man, what kind of sauce would you recommend for the Monstrami brisket? And he was like, you don't put any fucking sauce on my brisket. He said it very nicely, but he was like, the way I marinate and smoke this and brine it and everything, you're not going to need any sauce. If you really want to put sauce on, fine, but I'd appreciate it if you'd try it without the sauce. And I did, and it was so good. And that's why I say over and over, like, man, if your meat needs sauce to taste good, you're not getting the good shit. So if you want the good shit, as good as Soul Belly was, and it was pretty damn good, I liked it a lot better with barbecue sauce on it. So if you don't want to put sauce on your meat and you want to have it good right from the minute it touches your tongue, from the first time around, you should go to SpeakeasyMeats.com and order some meat from Adam Bauer. Use the discount code Jakey. SpeakeasyMeats.com, discount code Jakey. Yeah, get that shit sent to you, man. You got a long summer ahead of you, but it's going to be a short summer. I mean, it's really like 12 weeks. Right? Like you got 4 weeks in June, 4 in July, 4 in August. So you got like 12 weeks until Labor Day comes. And if you want to be the hot toast of your neighborhood, order your meat from SpeakeasyMeats.com and then have people come over, fire the grill up, put that shit out on the grill, warm it up that way, and then make people think that you smoked that meat yourself, or share the love and tell them, hey, you guys should order from SpeakeasyMeats.com too. Anyway, after that, we went to see Jack White back at the Cosmopolitan in the Chelsea room, the same room 2 nights in a row. And man, what a bit of a mindfuck. Like last time I was here, I've been to Las Vegas 3 times since the pandemic. And Las Vegas is the place where I went when I thought I was going to kill myself in October of 2020. Or 2019. Jesus, lose track. Yeah, October of 2019. That's where I came with the intention of killing myself. And where did I check into? But the Cosmopolitan, and stayed there for 3 weeks in hiding, basically, literally hiding and trying to kill myself. I don't want to get too much into that, but I just bring it up because, like, the first time I came back here, I did not go to the Cosmopolitan. The second time I was back, which was in November to see the Stones, me and Vaughn went to dinner at Beauty and Essex at the Cosmopolitan the night after the Stones show. And then this time, I ended up at the Cosmopolitan 2 nights in a row, seeing Bill Burr and then seeing Jack White. And I like that hotel a lot. Or I did. I mean, I was still very happy to go back there. I just like the whole vibe and energy to the place, especially on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Memorial Day weekend is great. Everybody's like, it's kind of got the hippest clubs, the hippest restaurants. Let's say it's got a Blue Ribbon there. It's got Beauty and Essex. It's got Hattie B's fried chicken. It's got Egg Slut. It's got some other well-renowned places that I can't think of right now. It's got Ghost Donkey. It's definitely like super hip and fashionable and stylish, and everybody puts on their best clothes to go there. Not me, of course. I'm not lucky I wore clothes at all. But yeah, we went to the Jack White show, man, and oh my God. Once again, Chris White came through with the tickets, and we were front row of the balcony, and we walked upstairs, and we watched Chicano Batman play, who was the opening act. And, you know, it's a good thing they didn't have all the different meats, because there was only so much brisket I was going to eat, but if I had 6 different meats in front of me at the Soul Belly barbecue restaurant, I probably would have totally gorged and then not felt good about the show. But they didn't. They had just the brisket. And I only ate so much brisket. And the hot links were like too spicy, so we didn't even eat all of those. But thankfully, because I was able to be like light on my feet a little bit and danced around a bit for the Chicano Batman set. And then Jack White had put out on his Instagram that there was going to be a magician performing that night. Now, apparently, this is Jack White's 3rd time playing in Las Vegas proper, as Jack White, as opposed to the Raconteurs with the White Stripes. And each time he had a poster designed by a magician / concert poster designer. Then it was a guy named, I don't know, Brian Jacobson, something like that. You can look it up on Jack White's Instagram if you really want to know his name. But he brought this guy came out onto the stage and like announced the poster and talked about the other 2 posters he had done and how they're magic posters, and it's almost too much to get into because I couldn't do them justice talking about it because I don't remember exactly what the routine was with the different posters. But they're magic posters somehow. Like one of the posters had scratch offs on it, and another one had something else, and then this one was like, I don't even know. It's all explained in the Jack White Instagram, official Jack White, @officialJackWhite. But this guy came out, and then he threw ping pong balls into the crowd, 3 different ping pong balls. Random people caught him, and then they came up on the stage, and then they all kind of designed concert posters together, and he did some weird ESP trick, and it was like magic right there in front of us, and it was pretty cool. And we watched that from upstairs in the balcony, and then we were like, let's go down on the floor. And we went down and just took some spots on the floor, just not far from the soundboard. We went down to the center of the floor, maybe 10 feet in front of the soundboard, and it was fucking great. The show was great. And, you know, I found myself, I was like, you know, is this still going to move me again? And I had already sort of decided that I wasn't going to go to LA. Jack played he was playing Sunday in Vegas, Monday off, and then Tuesday, Wednesday in LA. And I had sort of decided I wasn't going to go to the LA shows for a number of reasons. I really, really wanted to get there and see my friend Max. But I also realized that, like, I had been kind of running myself ragged, you know, running around to different shows and seeing people. And I was like, man, I can't imagine I'm going to want to get on my motorcycle on Memorial Day and ride the 15 all the way to LA and deal with Memorial Day traffic, and it's going to be so hot. And then I'll be in LA and be trying to like get to downtown LA for the shows, and like LA is just so spread out, and it's like I just wasn't ready for a city vibe. And I also felt like I wouldn't be ready, to just get on my bike the next day and cover all those miles. And I was like kind of thinking before the show started, I was like, I wonder if it'll even like excite me. And fucking, first song in, I was literally bouncing, jumping out of my fucking shoes, just like having so much fun. And I knew what song he was going to open with, because he opens with the same two songs at literally every fucking show now. And he opens with Taking Me Back and Fear of the Dawn, the first two songs off the new album. But both of them, I was just fucking jumping and swinging my hips and dancing and shaking my ass around, and I was having so much fun. And I was like, oh man, maybe I should be going to LA. And I was like, nah, it's okay. And then, the show was amazing. The show was just fucking spectacular. I don't know how to keep throwing superlatives at these Jack White shows. If you haven't gotten a chance to see him on this tour and you have the chance, fucking do it. That's all I can say. I'm gonna go see him in Reno this week on Friday, and then I'm gonna hang with some friends in Lake Tahoe for a few days, and then I'm gonna make my way back to Salt Lake and see him one more time in Salt Lake City, and then a couple days after that I'll be back in New York for a few weeks. So that's sort of my travel plan. And yeah, the anxiety. So I've been trying to get a hold of my friend Max, who I was going to stay with in LA, and we just kept missing each other's calls, playing phone tag sort of, and I didn't want to text him to say I wasn't coming, so I kept thinking I'd talk to him. And then then on Monday, Memorial Day, I had a phone-free day, and I was like, I just want to chill and not go anywhere, not look at my phone. I'm going to have a nice fucking chill holiday day. And I took 2 naps on Monday, and Kenny brought his friends to the airport, and then we watched a little sports together, and then Kenny flew up to Seattle yesterday morning, and I was like, I should call Max. And this is where like anxiety becomes a motherfucker, because I was like, I should have just texted Max a few days ago, and when we were playing phone tag, but I got so anxious about telling him that I wasn't coming that it like all morning it gripped me with fear. And then it was kind of what Monday was about too, and I don't understand why it was like such an insurmountable thing to just tell him I wasn't coming. But I worked this whole fever dream up in my head that he was going to be mad at me because I told him a couple of weeks ago I was coming, even though like he had sort of double booked me as a visitor with another couple who was going to be visiting with him at that time. But that didn't even have anything to do with why I wasn't going to go. But I was like, it's not like I'm going to leave Max alone. But I don't know why I got so anxious, and like every time I would grab my phone to try to send him a message to say I wasn't coming, I would have to put it down face down, and like my whole body was like tightening, and I was like starting to breathe heavy, and I still have these issues of anxiety where they just come up on me, and like I knew the best thing I could do in those moments was like, you just fucking breathe, man, just meditate. But I couldn't. I worked myself into such a frenzy of anxiety, not being able to just communicate one simple thing to a friend about not being able to see him this weekend. And then finally yesterday, like mid-afternoon or something, I finally sent him a message, and I was like, hey man, like I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm sorry, I can't explain. And it was just so hard to even type those words out. And just a reminder that, if you listen to this podcast and you think some weeks I really seem to have it all together. And some weeks I do have it all together. And some weeks, there's plenty of low-level depression and anxiety beats that I can feel, sort of. But the other day, man, I don't know. I still don't understand why it got so crazy and intense. And why I wasn't even able to send a simple text message. Literally took me 2 days. Um, but anyway, as it works out, I'm kind of glad I didn't go because I did want to spend a few extra days just kind of chilling in Vegas. And the whole idea of taking my bike to LA and putting myself in that, not even the headspace, just the idea of like everywhere I go, there's going to be traffic. I'm more used to wide open spaces, especially with this bike. So I'm looking forward to taking off tomorrow to some more wide open spaces, and I'm hoping tomorrow. I think I'll ride to Mono Lake, which is in southeastern California. It's sort of east of Yosemite. It's a beautiful lake that I tried to go to in 2020, but got chased out by forest fires that were happening around there. So I'm hoping I can make that one of my stops. Maybe camp out in Mono Lake tomorrow night, and then power on the rest of the day up to Reno, which I don't think I've ever been to Reno. I think I drove through there once, or Tahoe, hard to tell. I feel like I drove through Reno with Rana once. I think when I was with them, I feel like we went on tour, we played San Francisco, and then we drove east through Reno to end up getting to Salt Lake City for some shows, and then onward to Denver, Colorado, and Boulder, where they played at the Fox, and then I think we just kept driving eastward, I think. But yeah, I don't think I've never spent a night in Reno, so I'm excited to see Jack White play in Reno. Excited to check out that town, maybe stay at a hotel, and then go see my friends Keely and Mike for a few days in Tahoe. I visited them a couple of years ago too in 2020, and we went out on a boat. Maybe we'll get to go out on a boat again. Who knows? Anyway, that's it. I'm going to wrap this up, and I'm going to go and watch the New York Rangers play in the conference finals in the NHL Stanley Cup tournament. I don't have a lot of love for the guy who owns the Mets and the Rangers, the Knicks and the Rangers. But just knowing him the way I do, he loves the Knicks and loves to meddle in the Knicks. And he sort of seems to leave the Rangers alone, which is why I feel okay with rooting for the Rangers. But like anything, I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, it would be nice to see the Rangers win, because it's always nice when New York wins a championship. It makes everyone feel better about living there. And it's been a long time. The New York, I don't think the Islanders have won a championship in quite some time, or I know they haven't. And the Rangers last won in '94, so they're kind of due, at least to make a run into the finals. I think I do believe that Tampa Bay Lightning eliminated the Islanders from the playoffs the last 2 years, and then they went on to win the Stanley Cup. So it's the Rangers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight, and I'm going to watch that game, and I'm going to take in all the hockey I can between now and when the Stanley Cup championship is decided. That's it. I feel like I didn't do much introspection this week, which means all I'm talking about this week and last week is just like recapping my days. Hope it doesn't bore you to heck. If it does, you're probably still not still listening anyway. Anyway, that'll do it for today. It's your friend Jakey, Tuesdays with Jakey. Be good to one another, all that kind of mumbo jumbo. Keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for the stars. Do something nice for yourself. Even more importantly, do something nice for somebody you love. Reach out. Let them know you love them. Let them know you're thinking of them. That's going to do it for me today here on Tuesdays with Jakey. Peace, God bless, and inshallah.